Hey, what is going on, you guys? My name is Rayge, and we are back today with some more Def Scourge footage for you all. In today's video, we're going to be going through actually Notes 5, Notes 10, how I was able to attempt that and actually ultimately push through it with just my BIONIC Avengers, plus minus some additions here and there, but was able to get a best score run here of 2 million on difficulty 8 with about 200 Scourges. So that said, let's dive into my roster. I'll show you guys who I have upgraded, what their gear tier levels, ISO 8, so forth, and as well, then we can dive into the gameplay footage. So BIONIC Avengers, I think a lot of players have argued and speculated that, you need both teams, but for me personally, I only need to make one slight adjustment to my team, and for the most part, 99% of it was done through my BIONIC Avengers, and hopefully that can give you guys some input and strategy as you attempt these. But for sure, this team can get the job done. It's just making sure that we have the right attack order and taking down the correct enemies and preventing them from steamrolling. So that said, without a doubt, I think Vision is hands down the most important character on this team. Just with her ultimate ability, being able to cleanse and flip all the negative conditions to our favor, it's absolutely huge, guys. Next up, we got Hulkbuster, probably the second most important character, with him burying her and being able to protect our team, soak up damage. It's very pivotal that he survives with Vision and the rest of the team doing the work and damage. Vision is a really important piece as well, but I don't have him built up as high because, like I said, I think the two most important, Vision and Hulkbuster, are like the forefront, the foundation of the team. But with him having the ultimate ability to cast bleed as well as ability block, you'll see that it's going to be pivotal in some areas of the node. Iron Man, being able to extend negative conditions, he's got powerful ultimate ability, and we're going to take advantage of that for sure. And then last but not least, Deathlock, guys. Most of the upgrades here as well, but again, with him having the lowest star levels, he's going to be definitely the weakest and most squishiest. But casting energy, this team does a phenomenal job of just being able to provide support for each other, and you'll see that in the gameplay footage. So the reason I'm scrolling down here, guys, is I also want to bring up Shuri, because you'll see in my first gameplay for the Nodes 5 here, I am bringing her in the option of Iron Man. You'll see why, because of her sustainability and defensive capabilities. And a lot of folks will likely have her built up if you previously brought her in the Dark Dimension or the Wakandans being built up. But that's my only thing that I've changed here. Shuri is a very important piece to get kind of the ball moving here for Nodes 5. That said, I'll show you guys the gameplay. Let's get right to it. And honestly, really the big focus for me was determining if there was one team that we could fully utilize to get through this, because especially BIONIC Avengers being needed already in the tech nodes, it really did make sense. If we could get away with just them, that would be a huge pivotal piece. Now, I tried using Iron Man for this initial node, but there's just not enough sustainability and healing, so he was honestly the odd man out, and you'll see why later, guys. So starting things off, we're up against this mixture here of, the big target really being Jane Foster, Lady Thor, just because of the fact that you can see once she activates her ultimate ability here, it's going to completely devastate our team. Thankfully, we do have Vision to be able to flip that, but it's just too powerful of a team combination in this beginning. You can see Heimdall and all of them fell to the right side with the bleeds, which is huge, but then it quickly spawns the next wave, and this is kind of the problematic wave that we're going to see here. Again, Hulkbuster, Vision being the back and forefront of this team. You really do need to take advantage of their abilities to soak up damage. We bring on Shuri because she's going to be providing some defense up and healing, and it's going to be able to ensure that our BIONIC Avengers are in a pretty good spot when we start things off in Nodes 10. So that's really the logic there. Iron Man was, for whatever reason, always taken down pretty early in my attempts here when I utilized the full BIONIC. So figured, hey, why not try to switch things up? If there's a better way we can place this, it would be huge. But you can see now, unfortunately, this team is not great at stripping positive buffs, so we're just going to have to try to get through Thanos' taunt there, really to target the key damage dealers, like Lady Thor, like I said. Now that she's activated her ultimate, we're definitely in a better spot. But yeah, for sure, it's a powerful team combination that we're up against. With Thanos down, like my recommendation would just be to focus damage dealers, because you want to get to a point where we leave some of the passive characters like Emma Frost and Ebony Maw, so that way we can actually heal up, right? Call Obsidian's a good one too, because he's just tanky and soaks up damage, but taking away the damage dealers gives us an opportunity at the end of the node here to really heal up and prepare, save energy for ultimately what's one of the hardest nodes in the Scourge, being the node 10. So at this point now, I feel like I was in a good spot to actually use some abilities here now that we finally have the chance to attack Lady Thor. of being able to ability block her, and as well dealing some damage. So again, resuming our attacks, making sure that we're just utilizing the synergies of the Bionic. But you can see, unfortunately, with Vid Vision's ability, you know, it takes a lot of time to get her ultimate back, and it's also an ability we really want for Node 10. So this is the node where it's kind of one and done, guys. You know, we want to be able to use that ability only once after her ultimate, and at this point, when you're down to these 5 here, you know, Trooper, we got Ebony Maw, Emma Frost, Cull Obsidian, and another Trooper. At this point, we really want to kind of start taking away some of those damage dealers, especially with these minions having a revive. That is why it's a little trickier than it should be. But again, because we have Shuri, I wasn't worried, because that was that little extra bit of sustainability and healing that we really need for this team. And thankfully too, if you guys have an ISO 8 healer on her, she's going to be also able to pass you know, some regen aspects to the team, which is huge. So again, I don't really like how this is going. They're still doing some pretty decent damage despite us taking down a lot of the damage dealers already. But I really wanted to see, you know, how their HP was going to end up by the time this was all said and done. So we go ahead, we take down Trooper. He's got the revive triggered, and I was hoping Emma Frost's ultimate wouldn't land on one of my weaker guys, and it didn't, which was huge. So at this point, you can see everyone's kind of weak, and that's why I was saying, like, preparation is going to definitely be really, really pivotal here. We got to just bide our time. I figured, oh gosh, these guys need some extra protection, so triggered the defense up there from Shuri. She also has a really low cooldown with her abilities anyway, so not a big deal. We go ahead, we're still just kind of biding our time and then building up energy, and at the same time, you know, watching our HP bar very closely. When Emma Frost does get a chance to use her special, that's huge for us, because it's basically a free turn for us, right? She doesn't really do anything, increase her resistance and immunity. Good for us to go ahead and use our basic attack. And what I'm watching for is the energy bar on Shuri too, because we likely will need a heal pop up from her, and it's going to be that extra little bit that we need right before starting Nodes 10. So this is what I'm talking about, guys. You know, we're getting closer and closer to the finish line, and then finally the Shuri heal. This little extra bit is exactly what we need, and now we can go ahead and finish off Emma. So this is where you want to be, guys. If you can get most of them at that 60-70% HP mark and all the abilities ready to go, this is the ideal situation that you want for your Bionic Avengers. And you can exactly see why that setup will be huge here for Node 10, because I think it's gonna be very difficult to one-shot Nodes 10 without the proper setup. So that's exactly why we did that. So switching gears here, guys. Now finally we move over to the final node here in terms of all the Bionic Avengers being in play. So it didn't show on screen, but yeah, that's my setup now. So we start things off, and you'll see exactly why. All our abilities are ready to go, so we go ahead, Deathlock special, apply the bleed. This is gonna absolutely you know, devastate this team here on the other side, just because there's a lot of negatives that's gonna hit them on their turn. But you can see all the burst that's coming, right? If you don't feel comfortable with the burst damage, you could throw in some Wakandans to soak it up, but I'm just telling you right now, you can get the job done with the proper setup here. So we activate Vid Vision's ultimate once again, similar to Nodes 5, to flip everything. And now we're in a great opportunity to take advantage of Iron Man. We didn't use him in any of the nodes, so his abilities are ready to go. And then the first and foremost thing to really aim for is ensuring that Hulkbuster gets his ability off, because we want that barrier. We're going to need it to survive here. And as well, making sure it might take a couple tries with the RNG, but you really want to be able to get a turn to go before Rogue. And as you can see, Rogue hasn't gone yet, which is really huge for us. But then what is going to be frustrating is getting through this Miss Marvel. Again, this team is not the best at exactly going through positive buffs like Taunt and so forth, but you want to take down Miss Marvel, so we get a good chance here with the speed meter, Iron Man finishing her off with the ultimate, and finally we get a chance now to once again use Hulkbuster to add more barrier. But now this is where the timing is going to come from. We actually got our ability block on Rogue before she even used her special, and then accommodate that with Vision's ability block on Sunfire. By doing those two things, guys, we mitigate a lot of damage, and because once Rogue has her ability going off, it's really hard to get through her, especially with all the buffs that she has on. And you can see, boom, just like that, the most powerful wave from that first wave is done. We get another chance now to activate Vision's ultimate because of all the energy being granted from our fellow Bionic, and what is arguably one of the hardest nodes just became one of the smoothest, as you can see on the screen player, because of the fact that, again, we had really good setup in Nodes 5. So that's going to be the pivotal piece, guys. If you're able to get the right setup like I have with Shuri, ensuring these guys are, you know, well healed up, their abilities are ready to go, this became a very simple task, especially with it being arguably, again, one of the hardest nodes in the Scourge if you don't have the right setup. And look, I didn't even need to touch my Wakandans. I barely used any of them. The only one I would say, like I said, is we need Shuri's sustainability. It's quite important in Nodes 5, and ensuring that our Bionic is good to go for this node. So, like I said, guys, that's my recommendation. You don't need to invest in the other Wakandans if you do it like this, because, like I said, I think the logic is most of us will likely have Bionic already built up, and if this helps in any way, shape, or form, guys, do let me know, because I'm curious if this strategy also worked for you. It seemed to have worked for me, and like I said, the X factor was definitely Shuri for sure. At this point, yeah, it's just after that first wave is done, this node is pretty much smooth sailing. There's not really a pain point beyond Rogue and Sunfire when you can take those two out in that first wave. It's just K Bishop, finish her up, and this is how I was able to actually ultimately unlock my 2 million points. And again, an easy one-shot with these guys right from the get-go. All thanks to the Node 5 preparation and setup. So the 2 million points right there, boom. So let me know what you think in the comments below, guys. Let me know if this helps you. I'm really eager to hear that. But thank you as always. Do appreciate you checking my videos. Good luck in your guys' rest of the Scourge run, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.